अरे अभी किसी की शादी नहीं है, रुकना भी पड़ता है. Poor guys, I shouldn't have said that. Okay. Now, this cannot happen when you're seated. I've never seen Mumbai sit to a dhol. Come on, everyone. Give me company. Why don't we all stand up? Put your hands up. Come on, everyone. The entire radio industry. यार एक ही खड़ा हुआ है, मतलब एक आपका representative. Come on, everyone. Let's all. If you have two lovely feet of yours, legs, please stand up. Come on, the entire industry. Let's go for it. All of you, stand up, stand up. We're not going to spare anyone. Stand up. Today's evening for all of us to come together. Stand up. Please. Let's go for it, everyone. अरे यार मैं अभी रेडियो चैनल्स के नाम नहीं ले सकती. Okay, please, all of you, all our speakers, jury, everybody. The dhol will only start if all of you in the room stand up. And you need to give me your best energy. The ones who are still sitting, why yaar? Thoda, okay? Everyone, come on. 3, 2, 1, let's go! Come on! धन्यवाद धन्यवाद. Ladies and gentlemen, a big round of applause and welcome. Well, you know, Golden Mics has been close to all our hearts, and it's so great to meet all of you once again. From my heart to yours, all we got to say is we love radio. And to all of you, come on, give yourselves a big round of applause for doing the work you do. And bringing that smile, be it a traffic goer, right, who tunes into that beautiful radio station, or be it that amazing campaign which you guys would have conducted, which has left a great experience for someone and has created that emotional connect. We owe it to you as an industry for bringing us that amazing smile. And आज की जो शाम है वो आपके नाम है, आज की जो रात है वो आपके नाम है, because you always make everyone happy. So give yourselves a big round of applause to the entire radio industry for doing the work you do. And with that, we're going to be now beginning with our event and your support. But उससे पहले बस एक चीज बोलना चाहूंगी. These trumpets, hoot machines we'd like to call it, we'd want you to put it into action whenever you want to encourage anyone. Should we test it out once? Just a small test. Everyone, 3, 2, 1. And with that, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the 13th edition of the most awaited Exchange for Media Golden Mike's Radio and Audio Awards. Give yourselves a big, big round of applause for making it today. And all we can say is you all have arrived. My name is Bhavna Bhatia, and it's indeed my honor to be your host for the evening. But before I begin, I feel the team of Exchange for Media deserves a mightier round of applause for making it to the 13th edition of Golden Mics. Well, 13 strong years have only encouraged this industry. Radio is a resilient medium that seamlessly integrates with other advertising platforms, ensuring the wider reach or the deeper audience engagement. Its adaptability definitely ensures and drives the innovation, bringing multimedia selling to the forefront. In today's digital era, radio remains that powerful platform with both the influencers and the engaged audience. It also allows the brands and advertisers for that integrated approach we spoke about in the morning, blending radio, on-ground activations, events, branded content, and digital social for that maximum impact. So it's all about the collaboration amongst all the mediums. Today we are here to celebrate those exceptional voices and those creative campaigns and the stars of the radio and audio industry. Our hashtag for the evening is hashtag Golden Mics. Stay golden with that, keep tweeting, and show us how excited you are to find out who are going to be the stars of tonight. With that, ladies and gentlemen, for the welcome address, let's welcome none other than the founder of Exchange for Media and chairman and editor-in-chief of BW Business World, Dr. Anurag Batra, for the welcome address.
Good evening. Give a big round of applause to Bhavna. She's been anchoring since the morning. Give a bigger round of applause there. Let me say what Elizabeth Taylor said to many of her suitors. I won't keep you long. So Satya, I really won't make a long speech. But as Bhavna said, the Exchange for Media puts up all these initiatives day after day, week after week. Today's Golden Mics have been curated by Ms. Sangeeta. I don't know how you pronounce your second name, but C-H-O-R-A. Kore. Is Chore or Kore? Chore. So please give Sangeeta a big round of applause. She's a young mother. She has a 2.5-year-old girl child, but she really puts her heart, and me and Nawal are grateful that we have many such colleagues in the editorial, in the curation side, who really put their heart. In the morning, Josie Paul set the tone right by talking about the intimacy of the radio medium, the personalized nature of the radio medium, and then also how the radio business, radio professionals, radio advertising is reinventing itself in an era of digital through hyper-personalization. Radio is truly harnessing the power experiential by bringing the audiences it delivers in the cities that it delivers. So you are experts at radio. I won't belabor you on radio, but I can only tell you, like with all Exchange for Media awards, these awards are curated through a jury process. You'll see the jury AV. So I wish you luck. I can only say that the news about radio's demise is exaggerated. For the last 15 years, we've been hearing it. I'm sure for the next 15 years also we'll hear it. A lot of my friends from the radio domain are there. They've been able to build businesses which are of content, impact, and reach. They happen to be in an audio and radio format. That's how most of the business leaders who lead radio companies are approaching radio. The advertising in radio is still very strong. Investors, last week, a major radio platform was acquired by investors by putting in 300 crores. It shows you the robustness in radio. Radio is kept with the times, and radio is going to be around for a long time, and so will be the radio advertising. Tonight we celebrate radio advertising through Golden Mics. God bless you. Celebrate louder, applaud louder, and clap louder. Thank you. God bless you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Anurag Batra, for that encouraging welcome address. Ladies and gentlemen, before we move on to the awards, we'd like to tell you that the jury was chaired by none other than the MD Blue Star, Mr. B. Thiagarajan. Well, he couldn't join us in person as he's in the United States right now, but he's been very keen in sending a message for all of us. We'd like the team to view that on the screen.
I'm extremely delighted to be part of the 13th edition of the Exchange for Media Golden Mics Radio and Audio Awards. It was an extraordinary experience for me with numerous entries in radio, podcast, audio and audiobooks categories. This segment is growing and it is heartening to witness a lot of rich and creative work being done which deserve recognition. I'm glad that Exchange for Media Group is spearheading this through Golden Mics Radio and Audio Awards. I take this opportunity to thank the fellow jury members. I congratulate all the winners.
Thank you so much. And ladies and gentlemen, as Dr. Anurag Batra rightly said, we'd also like to showcase you on how today's winners were chosen. So we'd request your attention on the screen as we do the same.
Kasakai, Mumbai! You're tuned into the hottest frequency of the year, the 13th edition of the Golden Mics Radio and Audio Awards. If content is king, then voice is the kingdom's heartbeat. And for over a decade, the Golden Mics have loudly and clearly proven that audio isn't just background noise. It's emotional, impactful, and unforgettable. This year, we've witnessed campaigns that don't just sell, they inspire, and sounds that don't just echo, they elevate. And tonight, we celebrate the creators, marketers, and storytellers who made us stop and listen. Meet the selection board jury. A group of the sharpest marketing minds who brought their passion and expertise to shortlist the very best. The winners of 2025 were chosen after an intense day of discussion, debate, and, of course, a whole lot of listening. This year, the jury was chaired by B. Thiagarajan, Managing Director of Blue Star Limited. And now, presenting our grand jury.
It's been an absolute pleasure being on the jury of e4m Golden Mics Radio and Audio Awards. The kind of creativity and flexibility we saw this year was amazing. Radio and audio continue to be such powerful mediums, and the entries prove just how impactful storytelling can be. A big shout out to all the winners. You guys have honored, and believe me, judging wasn't easy with such amazing work across the board.
It was an absolute pleasure for me to be part of the Exchange for Media Golden Mics Award. The creative, the quality, the strategic thinking behind all these campaigns were inspiring for us to see. Radio continues to be a powerful medium for brands to use for their campaigns. I thank e4m team for putting together such a stellar set of work for us to judge on. I congratulate all the winners and I wish you all the best.
Huge shout out to this year's winners of the e4m Golden Mics Awards. Your stories, your voices stood out, so keep up the good work. Listening to hours of radio entries was like binging the best of audio Netflix. So to my fellow jury members, thank you for having such spirited discussions we had. To e4m, I would like to thank you for having me as the grand jury, and for inspiring the content creators to create more and share more of content.
The remarkable journey, relevance and innovation in audio and radio is worth noting in the digital age where people are glued on to multiple screens. Activations, music streaming platforms and podcasts are meaningful and generating huge excitement. It's easy, it's connecting, it's live and it's unique. It was lovely to see so many entries and different ways in which brands and agency partners have leveraged the medium. Let's turn on the volume, beats, sounds, discussions and resonance to even higher levels. Congratulations.
And ladies and gentlemen, before we begin with the awards ceremony, we just thought we'll do a short countdown, and I would encourage all of you to just count down with me. When I say 10, you say 9, and we will ensure that we bring the Dole guys in to give us that maximum energy. We know you guys enjoy with this energy, so let's bring that on to the Dole team. We're going to be making you guys play it again, all right? So let's begin. Are you ready? Okay, when I say 10, you say 9, all right? 10. Continue, everyone. It's on countdown. 8, 6, 4, 2, come on. Thank you so much. So ladies and gentlemen, with this, welcome to the 13th edition of Exchange for Media Golden Mics Radio and Audio Awards. With that, it is now time for us to begin with the awards ceremony. For all the ones who have joined us, the bronze winners would be announced on stage, but we request you to please collect the trophies from the pre-function area. All the silver and the gold award winners, we request your presence on the stage to collect the award. With that being said, allow me an opportunity to now call upon our first set of presenters. Chairman and Editor-in-Chief, BW Business World, in Exchange for Media, Dr. Anurag Batra, along with the Head Marketing, H&R Johnson India Division, Girish Ahuja. And as our presenters are here on stage, the first main category, radio, under which we have effectiveness, the first subcategory is talking about most effective ad/campaign on radio.
The bronze goes to Big FM for Banu India Ke Annadata.
Congratulations. With that, we move on to the silver.
The silver goes to Mirchi Tamil for International Stuttering Awareness Day.
Congratulations, Mirchi Tamil. And for the first gold in Golden Mics, the moment is right here.
And the gold goes to Entertainment Network India Limited, Mirchi for Suraksha Bandhan Season
6. Ladies and gentlemen, gentlemen, e4m, let's give them a big, big round of applause. Golden Mics. And well, with that, let's see who joins us next in the spotlight with our next subcategory. We're talking about the best use of radio for launch/relaunch.
The silver goes to Havas Media India for Kia Sonic Facelift, a wild hunt.
Let's give it up, ladies and gentlemen, Havas Media India. Join us in applauding the team. And to the next award-worthy moment, eyes on the screen.
The silver goes to Initiative Media for Air Watan, Mere Watan.
The team of Initiative Media isn't amongst us, but let's give them a big, big round of applause on bagging this win tonight. And for our next win.
And the silver goes to Big FM for brand refresh.
Team Big FM. Let's give them a big, big round of applause, everyone. Ladies and gentlemen, the night has just begun. Let the applause continue. And we now move ahead to our next subcategory. We talk about the best use of radio for long-term effectiveness.
The silver goes to Havas Media India for Babali. Thank you, mechanic.
Once again, Havas Media India. Congratulations, Havas Media India. And we now see who's going to be next stealing the spotlight with our next award.
The silver goes to Big FM for Bano India ke Angdata.
Congratulations, ladies and gentlemen, a big, big round of applause. Big FM, yet another award. It's just started right here at Golden Mics. Congratulations. And as the conversation and celebration continues, request your attention on the screen for the next win.
And the gold goes to Mindshare India for Voices of Progress. Banega to Banega India.
Ladies and gentlemen, a big, big round of applause. Mindshare India. And now we go ahead to our next subcategory. We're talking about the best use of branded content or sponsorship on radio.
The silver goes to Radio City for Muthoot Finance, Sunehri Soch Season 3.
Radio City and the Muthoot Group. Ladies and gentlemen, a big round of applause. Radio City, congratulations on the Muthoot Group for bagging the silver. And now, hold your breath, ladies and gentlemen, as the golden moment has arrived. Eyes on the screen.
The gold goes to Big FM for Bank of Baroda. Dhun Badal Ke To Dekho Season 3 with Pankaj Tripathi.
Ladies and gentlemen, presenting to you Big FM bagging the gold at Golden Mics. And to the next heartwarming moment, request your attention on the screen.
And the gold goes to Entertainment Network India Limited, Military for Suraksha Bandhan Season 6.
Well, congratulations to NIL and Mirchi. And with that, we move ahead to our next category under radio, which is creativity, with our subcategory B. At Golden Mics, we're talking about best single commercial, pharmaceutical, healthcare, and wellness.
The silver goes to Pentacle Designing Private Limited for High Fever Kuch Kehta Hai.
Congratulations, Pentacle Designing Private Limited and Dr. Reddy's Laboratories. Ladies and gentlemen, join me in applauding the team for bagging the silver. And let there not be a moment of pause amongst all of us. And let's continue with that applause. And moving ahead to our golden moment.
And the gold goes to Big FM for Open Live, Soft Vac, Gabsons
2.0. Join me in celebrating the win of Big FM, once again bagging the gold. And we now keenly move towards our next subcategory. We talk about best single commercial consumer durables.
The silver goes to Big FM for JBL, Jingle All the Way.
from jingle all the way to collecting awards all the way. Let's give it once again for Big FM on this iconic win. And we now progress towards our next subcategory. We're talking about Best Single Commercial Insurance, Banking and Financial Services.
The gold goes to Radio City for Muthoot Finance, Sunehri Soch Season 3.
Ladies and gentlemen, join us in cheering Radio City and the Muthoot Group. And we now move ahead to our next subcategory. Best Single Commercial Media and Entertainment TV Shows/Films.
The gold goes to Radio Mango for Independence Day promo.
Presenting to you the gold winners, ladies and gentlemen, Radio Mango. And with that, we move ahead to our next subcategory. Let's talk about the best single commercial public service, CSR and social welfare.
The bronze goes to Big FM for Sitta Chhod Dena Yaar, Season 2.
Big FM for the bronze, and we now move ahead to the silver. For the bronze, It's absolutely fine if you want to join us on stage, but it's the bronze award. The bronze is outside. I'm sorry, I was trying to. But let's give them a big, big round of applause, everyone. And to the silver.
The silver goes to Radio Mango for Kerala election promo.
And for that golden touch to the golden mics, our next win.
And the gold goes to Big FM for Solar Happy Smarter.
Ladies and gentlemen, another gold, Big FM. And to our next subcategory, We're talking about our next subcategory being Best Single Commercial Others.
The silver goes to Big FM for Pinolex Pipe Big Mahakund.
And with that, a big thank you to our presenters, Mr. Girish Ahuja and Dr. Anurag Batra. And allow me an opportunity to now call upon the co-founder of Footprint, Prateek Gaur, along with VP Marketing, HSBC, Kadam Singh. Thank you so much, Kadam and Prateek, for joining us today. And with that, we move ahead to our next subcategory. Best Campaign.
The bronze goes to Mirchi 98.3 Entertainment Network India Limited for Ab Meri Dhara Ki Bari Hai.
Congratulations, and for the silver. Ladies and gentlemen, let the applause continue, and for the silver.
The silver goes to Viva Network for Mahakund Calling.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's give it up for Fever Network. And shining on bright with that golden moment it is.
And the gold goes to Entertainment Network India Limited, Radio Mirchi for Digi Daku.
Well, perfectly dressed for that golden moment. Let's give ENIL Radio Mirchi a big, big round of applause. And continue with that hashtag golden mics in all your posts. In our next category under radio, we talk about innovation. Let's go ahead to the next subcategory. Under innovation, we talk about best innovation on radio as the first subcategory.
The bronze goes to Big FM for hashtag Kaam Se Kaam.
Congratulations.
The silver goes to Radio City Music Broadcast Limited for Cup Season 2.0.
And now bringing that energy with the gold award, it is.
And the gold goes to Entertainment Network India Limited for Mathilukal Katpuram Beyond the Walls.
Well, congratulations, another golden moment for ENIL Radio Mirchi. Let's give them a big and a mighty round of applause. And now let's talk about our next subcategory. The best use of radio in an integrated media plan.
The bronze goes to Radio City for Muthoot Finance, Sunahiri Soap Season 3.
Congratulations.
The silver goes to Havas Media India for Kia Sonic Facelift, a wild hunt.
And cheers to our next celebratory moment. Let's find it out.
And the silver goes to Mindshare India for Yashasvi Sarpanch.
Congratulations, Mindshare India and Ultratech Cement Limited. Ladies and gentlemen, join me in applauding the team. Well, it all is happening at #GoldenMics, and congratulations to the team. And with that, we move ahead to our next subcategory. We're talking about best use of sponsorship in an on-air, on-ground radio campaign.
The bronze goes to Entertainment Network India Limited for such a Hyderabadi nice.
Congratulations.
And the silver goes to MyFM TV Corp Limited for MyFM Dekhta Hai.
Yeah, ये तो fully ready है. It's like an ever ready. Well, the team of MyFM couldn't join us, but let's give them a big round of applause on the same. And with that, let's go ahead to our next category under radio promotions, which is Best On-Air Promotion for or by a brand
The
singular
bronze goes
station.
to Club FM for hepatitis awareness.
Congratulations, Club FM.
The bronze goes to Havas Media India for JBL, Jingle all the way.
Congratulations, Havas Media, and now let's
And the
talk
gold
about
goes to Big FM for Big Marathi Entertainment Awards Season 3.
Well, congratulations to the team, and with that we move ahead to our next award. We talk about Best On-Air Promotion for or by a brand multiple
The
stations.
silver goes to Club FM for Junior RJ.
ladies and gentlemen, join me in applauding none other than Club FM for bagging this win. And on that note, we now move ahead to the golden moment.
And the gold goes to HD Media, e4m for D-Day Chacha.
Well, congratulations to HT Media on bagging that gold, and now we move ahead to our next subcategory. Best on-ground promotion followed by a brand single radio station.
The silver goes to Wavemaker for Glucon-D.
Congratulations, Team Wavemaker. And now welcoming our next applause-worthy moment. We're talking about the gold.
And the gold goes to Music Broadcast Limited for Brown is No More Boring.
Well, after that applause-worthy moment, let's go ahead to our next subcategory. We're talking about best on-ground promotion for by a brand network on radio stations.
The bronze goes to Mindshare India for Yashasvi Sarpanch.
Congratulations, Mindshare.
The silver goes to Music Broadcast Limited for Nissan Magnite. Hashtag Magnite is love.
And now let's see who joins us in the celebration next with our silver beam.
And the silver goes to Radio Mango for Radio Mango, Guruvan and Nana Mangoyam, Kalyana Gandhi.
Well, as the celebration continues, let's now talk about our next subcategory. Best sponsored on air promotion by a single radio station for
The silver goes to Radio City for Muthoot Finance, Sunehri Soch Season 3.
Well, isn't it all about collaborations? Let's give it up for Radio City and the Method Group. And with that, we now segue into our next subcategory. Best Sponsored On-Air Promotion by a Network of Radio Stations for
The
Self/Brand.
silver goes to Big FM for Sony KBC Drive to Fame.
And for the next red carpet walk, let's welcome our silver winner being.
And the silver goes to Radio City for Muthoot Finance Sunil Search Season 3.
Once again, ladies and gentlemen, Radio City and the Method Group. And as the celebrations continue at the peak, let's go ahead to our next subcategory. Best Sponsored On-Ground Promotion by a Single Radio Show for
The
Self/Brand.
bronze goes to Big FM for JBM. Jingle all the way.
Congratulations.
The silver goes to Big FM for Jyoti Labs, Maxo, Dengue Ka Dunk 1.0. And with that, our next win, eyes on the screen, we talk about our next silver. The silver goes to Big FM for Nanna Odi Nanna Goti.
Well, Big FM is truly turning this night into a big night for them. Congratulations so far. Cheers on that. And let's go ahead to our next award.
The silver goes to Viva FM for the Super Vimanya Awards.
Ladies and gentlemen, catching on that, let's give them a big round of applause. Fever FM for the Super Vimanya Awards. Congratulations. And with that, let's all celebrate together the golden moment.
And the gold goes to Entertainment Network India Limited for Coco World Cup amplification.
And with that, I'd like to humbly thank Pratik and Kadam for giving us company on stage. Let's give them a big, big round of applause, everyone. And with this, I'd now like to invite our next set of presenters. Chief Alliance Officer of Lakshya Media Group, Satyabrata Das, along with the co-founder of Blue Buzz, Neha K. Bisht. Let's give both of them a warm round of applause as we welcome them. Come on, ladies and gentlemen, where's the energy in the room? Let's get them on the stage. And as we have our presenters, let's talk about our next subcategory. Best sponsored on-ground promotion by a network of stations for
The silver goes to Entertainment Network India Limited for SBR Live Square B in association with Mochi.
And joining us next for our silver win, we're talking about and join me in celebrating.
And the silver goes to Radio Mango for Radio Mango, Guruvar and Bala Mangoyam, Kalyana Gandhi.
And ladies and gentlemen, firstly, so far, can we give a big, big round of applause for all the winners? And it's so great to have all of you in one room. Let's move ahead to our next award category. Best promotion on digital for or by a brand.
The bronze goes to HD Media, Viva FM for Sorry Not Sorry.
Congratulations, and with that,
The silver goes to Entertainment Network India Limited for What Women Want with Kareena Kapoor and Season
5. And for that next iconic moment as we edge towards the gold, let's find it out.
And the gold goes to Entertainment Network India Limited for all the mannerisms.
say it's truly turning out to be a golden night for Entertainment Network India Limited. Congratulations so far. So ladies and gentlemen, with this, under radio is broadcasters, we talk about our first subcategory being Best On-Air Promotion by a Single Radio Station for Self.
The silver goes to Club FM for Tankamani.
Well, congratulations, Club FM. Join me in applauding the team. And with that, we move ahead to our next subcategory. Let's talk about Best On-Air Promotion by a network of radio stations for Self.
And the gold goes to Club FM for Listeners Music Managers.
Well, truly making a mark tonight. Let's give it up once again for Club FM. And with that, let's now segue into our next subcategory, Best On Ground Promotion by a Single Radio Station for Self.
And the gold goes to Big FM for Big Sleep Concert.
Congratulations to the team of Big FM. And with that, let's go ahead to our next subcategory. Best Promotion on Digital for Self.
The silver goes to Fever Network for Punjabi Alexa.
I think for him, we definitely have to play some dhol. Come on. The dhol guys, let's give it up for him. And continuing that celebration with our next silver, we're talking about
The silver goes to Big FM for Bank of Baroda. Dhum Badal Ke Dekho Season 3 with Pankaj Tripathi.
It's now time to showcase the gold winner. At Golden Mics.
And the gold goes to Entertainment Network India Limited for digital artists, NRR DD, Raver, comedy musicals.
And while the spotlight has been shown on many, but let's now head towards our next subcategory. We're talking about Best Public Service Initiative by a Broadcaster.
The bronze goes to HD Media, Fever FM for Kota FM.
Congratulations. And for our next bronze,
The bronze goes to Fever Network for Pan Hai to Hum Hai featuring Sudhir.
congratulations Fever Network.
The silver goes to Club FM for Lotus Mentality.
Having that golden shine tonight, let's see who grabs the gold tonight. We're talking about...
And the gold goes to Big FM from Jal Angola.
We move ahead to our next subcategory, Most Unique Programming Concept/Ideas Broadcaster.
The bronze goes to Entertainment Network India Limited for Dhandha Diaries.
Congratulations, ENIL.
The bronze goes to Entertainment Network India Limited for International Stuttering Awareness Day Anniversary.
Well, the more the merrier for the team ENIL.
The silver goes to Entertainment Network India Limited for Mosquito Ki Shaadi Nahi Ho Sakti.
Bringing in the next award-worthy moment, eyes on the screen. The next silver.
The silver goes to HD Media, just too for me for just too for me heavy.
to the next grand showcase of the Gold Award. Request your attention on the screen.
And the gold goes to Big FM for Bank of Baroda. धुन बदल के चले for season 3 with Pankaj Tripathi.
And join me in celebrating our next winners with our next subcategory being Best Program Launch on Radio.
The bronze goes to Entertainment Network India Limited for Mirchi Recharge Mantra.
Congratulations. And now for the silver.
The silver goes to HD Media, Just Do For Me for Just Do For Me show launch.
And let's shine bright with our next award, ladies and gentlemen. Hold your breath.
And gold goes
to
for Bank of Baroda. धुन बदल के चले for season 3 with Pankaj Tripathi.
Now next with the applause-worthy performance, we move ahead to the next subcategory. Best Digital/Web Streaming via Radio/Network.
The silver goes to Entertainment Network India Limited for RB Mannerisms.
And to the next spotlight moment with our silver being.
The silver goes to Entertainment Network India Limited, Radio Mirchi for Gulabi Thandi Song Spoof.
Well, after all the hard work, the mighty impact with the gold next beat.
And the gold goes to HD Media, Just Do For Me for Just Do For Me Digital.
and gentlemen, next at Golden Mics, we're talking about our next subcategory, Best Show Integration.
The bronze goes to Big FM for Bank of Baroda with Antakshari Season 2 with Anu Kapoor.
Congratulations. And for a silver, let's find it out.
The silver goes to Big FM for Bank of Baroda with Badal Koto Dekho Season 3 with Pankaj Tripathi.
For all those sleepless nights with our Gold Award going to at Golden Mics.
And the gold goes to Entertainment Network India Limited for What Women Want with Kareena Kapoor Khan Season
5. And with that, congratulations so far, and thank you so much, Neha and Satyabrata, for joining us and giving us company. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we now move ahead to the next award category, but before that, I'd like to take the honor of calling upon our next presenters. Allow me an opportunity to call upon the marketing head, Jumbo King, Sayantani Das, along with Senior Editor, BW Business World and Exchange for Media, Ruhail Amin. Let's give both of them a big round of applause as we welcome them, Ruhail and Sayantani. Thank you so much, Sayantani, once again for joining us, and thank you so much, Ruhail, from coming down from Delhi and being with us here. Well, when we started in the morning today, we said that radio is the OG influencer. And today we're here talking about our next subcategory being the best use of influencer or celebrity.
3. The bronze goes to Entertainment Network India Limited for Azadi Ki Kahani Season 2.
Congratulations to our next bronze.
The bronze goes to Big FM for Bank of Baroda with Badal Koto Dekho Season 3 with Pankaj Tripathi.
Congratulations, and with that, the
silver goes to Radio City for Muthoot Finance Sunehri Soch Season 3.
the next big cheer with the Gold Award. Ladies and gentlemen, hold your breath. We're
And
talking
the
about...
gold goes to Entertainment Network India Limited for What Women Want with Kareena Kapoor from Season 5.
Well, don't we all love jingles? So let's talk about our next subcategory. Best radio jingle for a client.
The bronze goes to HD Media, e4m for Shukriya Patanjali.
Congratulations. Now let's
And the
showcase.
silver goes to Big FM for Election Commission Jingle Ad.
Well, with this, now let's talk about our next subcategory, wherein we highlight best radio jingle for self.
The bronze goes to Entertainment Network India Limited for Kiri Vada Nakalle. Rise Up Kids, Back to School Jingle.
And now showcasing the silver we're talking about.
The silver goes to HD Media, Radio Nasha for Crazy for Kishore, Shanse by Radio Nasha.
Joining us next with our applause-worthy act, it is the next silver going to at Golden Mics.
The silver goes to Entertainment Network India Limited for Anti-Tobacco Day Jingle.
Well, it is said that the competition is tough when you have another silver award. We request your attention on the screen. At Golden Mics, the silver.
The silver goes to Club FM for Anti-Child Labor.
And writing their success with the Gold Award, it goes to, ladies and gentlemen, at Golden Mics, we're talking about.
And the gold goes to HD Media, just too filmy for just too filmy jingle.
Now let's give a tribute to all the people who create the content, the conceptualization. With our next subcategory, ladies and gentlemen, we're talking about the best on-air show.
The bronze goes to Radio Mirchi Hyderabad for Superwoman.
Congratulations. And the silver.
The silver goes to Big FM for Bank of Baroda. Big Antakshari Season 2 with Anu Kapoor.
And now let's shine bright with our golden moment once again. Ladies and gentlemen, at the 13th edition of
And
Golden
gold
Mics.
goes to Big FM for Bank of Baroda. Dhum Badal Ke To Dekho Season 3 with Pankaj Tripathi.
Well, it is said that if you start your day right, you're in for a good night. Well, we're talking about our next subcategory, the focus being the best breakfast show.
The silver goes to Big FM for Mumbai Muscat Market with Rajesh Heedji.
To the next show, which is shining brighter than the sun, our next silver, ladies and gentlemen, goes to
The silver goes to Entertainment Network India Limited for Dilli Kitne Pani Mein.
And to this show, we give credit for all those beautiful mornings. The gold goes to, ladies and gentlemen, hold your breath as we talk about.
And the gold goes to Entertainment Network India Limited for Teha Hai Par Tera Hai, Mirchi Chaksu.
Well, don't we all need some pumping up in the afternoons? So let's talk about our next subcategory, the best afternoon show.
The silver goes to Entertainment Network India Limited for Flower Bee, Fire Bee, Mirchi Gorika.
And it is now time to bring on the golden moment again with our gold, ladies and gentlemen, going to.
And the gold
Well
goes to
deserved.
e4m for the Super Bohemia Show.
And now credit to all those who make our nights shine as bright as the stars. We fall in love with their voices because our next subcategory we're talking about is the best late night show.
The silver goes to Viva Network for Love X Hoka.
And it is now the iconic moment for the Gold Award. Ladies and gentlemen, at the 13th
And the gold
edition,
goes to
it goes to
Mahni Zindagi with RJ Dillon.
And with that, a big thank you to Sir Anthony and Ruhel for joining us. Let's give them a big, big round of applause. And with that, allow me an opportunity to now call upon our next presenters. The VP Marketing Strategy, Key Projects and Social Media of HSBC Bank, Shalu Zala, along with the Head of Marketing, GSW Steel Limited, Tarun Jha. Thank you so much, Tarun and Shalu, for joining us. Well, we all crave for the best story, and we all give credit to those storytellers. So let's talk about our next subcategory being the best storytelling show.
The silver goes to Big FM for Ultratech Banega to Bahega India.
And well, it is said that one story can be great, the others also greater, because we have 3 silvers. So for the second silver award, it goes to. Let's now highlight the next award. Ladies and gentlemen, at Golden Mics, the silver goes
The
to.
silver goes to Viva Network for Azad Hind audio drama.
cheers to the next applause-worthy performance and the show being the next silver. Ladies and gentlemen, focus on the screen as we talk about.
The silver goes to Entertainment Network India Limited for गानों की कहानी मिर्ची की जुबानी.
And now it is time, ladies and gentlemen, once again, the golden moment. We're talking about at the 13th edition of the Golden Mics, our gold goes to. Hold your breath, ladies and
And
gentlemen.
the gold goes to Big FM for Suhana Safar with Anu Kapoor.
And before we move ahead, we'd also like to call upon the Chief Commercial Officer of MIQ Digital. Ladies and gentlemen, let's call upon Varun Mohan now on stage. Ladies and gentlemen, a big round of applause as Varun has joined us. And thank you so much. Well, now, it is said that humor is the toughest skill set to have. So let's give credit to all those who deserve with our next subcategory. Best humor on radio.
The bronze goes to Big FM for Mukra Antara.
Congratulations.
The silver goes to Radio Mirchi Hyderabad for Kutti Hai Yaar.
And the one which has been loved and laughed, made us laugh a lot. Let's talk
And
about
the gold goes to Radio Mirchi for Mirchi Golmaal.
Well, I must say it's been a fab show so far. Give yourselves a big round of applause, everyone. And with that, we move on to the next category under Radio Regional Language Radio. Ladies and gentlemen, the first subcategory, Best Art/Campaign on Radio in the North Region.
The bronze goes to Entertainment Network India Limited for Har Ghar Kuch Kehta Hai.
Congratulations. And the silver.
And the silver goes to Entertainment Network India Limited. Mirchi for Suraksha Bandhan Season 6.
Congratulations on that mega award. Ladies and gentlemen, now from the north, we head to our next subcategory. The best ad/campaign on radio in the South region.
The bronze goes to Entertainment Network India Limited for Har Ghar Kuch Kehta Hai.
Congratulations, and now for the silver.
And the silver goes to Big FM for Nanna Ori Nanna Beti.
Now from the South region, let's head towards our next subcategory. The best ad/campaign on radio in the East region.
The silver goes to Big FM for Big Green Durga.
And ladies and gentlemen, from the East region, let's now highlight our next subcategory. Best ad/campaign on the radio in West region.
Bronze goes to Entertainment Network India Limited, Radio Mirchi for Sounds of Maharashtra.
Congratulations, and with that, the silver. At Golden
And the
Lights.
silver goes to Big FM for Lal Bacha Raja 2024 and Big Green Ganesha.
Congratulations, ladies and gentlemen. And with that, a big thank you, Varun, Tarun and Shalu for joining us and being a part of our celebration today. With that, ladies and gentlemen, we are now going to be heading towards our next award category. But for that, allow me an honor to call upon the Chairman and Editor-in-Chief, PW Business World and Exchange for Media, Dr. Anurag Batra, along with the co-founder of Exchange for Media, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Naval Ahuja. Let's give them a big, big round of applause as we welcome them on stage. And with that, we now move ahead to some of the biggest honors of tonight.
I'd also like to call Mr. Vaibhav Malu. He's an author and an entrepreneur. So, Vaibhav, it took you 5 hours to get from one point to another. You should buy a chopper. Next year, we'll give you boats, and we'll do it just before the monsoon season, so you can use them and give it to your friends in Bangalore.
Thank you so much for joining us. So, well, ladies and gentlemen, now we're heading towards the Excellence Awards. Allow me an opportunity to also ensure that all the bronze winners in the Excellence Awards, please do join us on stage. Award. Ladies and gentlemen, eyes on the screen. RJ of the Year, Hindi/English.
The silver goes to RJ Guinea, Radio City.
Well, I started doing my radio show 12 years ago. This is the 11th award in 11 years. So it means a lot. Thank you very, very much. And yeah, feels very good indeed. Thank you. Thank you, Radio City.
Thank you so much. Ladies and gentlemen, let's give it a big, big round of applause. And now for the next silver, ladies and gentlemen, Archie of the Year, Hindi/English language. Hold your breath as we talk
The
about
silver goes to RJ Kulapati Nathan, Big FM.
pass on our congratulations to RJ Kurafati Nitin. Let's give him a big, big round of applause. And ladies and gentlemen, the golden moment is right here. RJ of the Year, Hindi/English language. Hold your breath, ladies and gentlemen, it goes to...
And the gold goes to RJ Rajesh Hiji, Big FM.
Ladies and gentlemen, let the applause continue. RJ Rajesh Hiji, bagging the RJ of the Year.
So, this is a bit it's a bit out of the ordinary, but that's my 6-year-old on the phone there. If you could just give him a round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. His name is Aritra, and he keeps reminding me not to forget to say, Suprabhat Meri Jano. So yeah, he loves saying the line. So thank you all so much.
Well, such a touching moment right there. Congratulations, RJ Rajesh, for joining us. And ladies and gentlemen, with that, we go to our next subcategory. Our next RJ of the Year, Other Language Under Excellence
The
Award.
bronze goes to RJ Shomali, Music Broadcast Limited.
Congratulations. Let's get her on the stage. RJ Shonali, we'd love you to say a few words. Let's give it a big, big round of applause.
Hello, good evening. Right now I'm feeling humble, hurt, and honored. Thank you, Team Radio City. This is the third time, so hat-trick. Thank you.
Well, a big heart for her on that. Let's give RJ Shonali a big, big round of applause. Congratulations. And with that, let's go ahead to the next one. The silver, ladies and gentlemen, goes to...
The silver goes to Kitat John Radio Mirchi.
हाय एवरीवन, थैंक यू सो मच। वो जो धंधा डायरीज वाला अवार्ड था वो भी मेरा था, वो स्टेज पर आने नहीं दिया इसीलिए। सो मिर्ची में फेमसली कहते हैं कि अगर हमारी नसें अब काटोगे तो खून नहीं मिर्ची निकलेगी। सो ऐसा ही है, एंड ऑल थैंक्स टू माय एंटायर टीम जहां पे भी बैठे हैं। थैंक यू सो मच।
Congratulations. And ladies and gentlemen, now for the golden moment at the Golden Mics. Archie of the Year, Other Language. Gold.
The gold goes to Siddharth Sharma, RJ Siddharth, 98.3 Radio Mirchi.
So I am proud to be a part of our great brand Mirchi, and I want to thank Yatish, Vishal, Nimit, Puneet, Kshitij, Uma, Ibrahim, क्योंकि इन सब के ही सपोर्ट से ये चीज हो पाई है। ये अवार्ड सिर्फ मेरा नहीं है, पूरे छत्तीसगढ़ का है, क्योंकि पूरे छत्तीसगढ़ ने अपनी लैंग्वेज को आगे बढ़ाने का सपना देखा है, अभी भी देख रहे हैं, और आप उसे पूरा करने में मदद कर रहे हैं, उसके लिए बहुत बहुत थैंक यू। अगर आप छत्तीसगढ़ को अपना प्यार भेजना चाहते हैं, आपको सिर्फ मेरे साथ बोलना है, छत्तीसगढ़िया सबले बढ़िया। 3, 2, 1, छत्तीसगढ़िया। थैंक यू सो मच। थैंक यू।
Thank you so much. Ladies and gentlemen, picture abhi baki hai because we have one more gold in this category. The next gold goes to...
And the gold goes to RJ Sangram, Big FM.
Zindabad, Sathiyo. In response, you are supposed to say Zindabad. Thank God for social media and fake news. We can do it again. Zindabad, Sathiyo! I have a couple of really profound thoughts to share about my industry. I mean, thank you, my team, of course, but this is a little technical, this is a little complicated. ER बढ़ाओ, पगार बढ़ाओ, डिजिटल बोलना बंद करो। जय हिंद, जय महाराष्ट्र।
Well, I must say, truly touching everyone's pulse with that note. All right. And now I'm going to be diverting you to the aspiring ones on the other side. Ladies and gentlemen, our next award, and the category is New Aspiring RJ of the Year.
The silver goes to RJ Camby, Fever FM.
शोर मचाओ, इतने सारे शोर मचा दो। दिल्ली हिला दे लड़का, दिल्ली हिला दे लड़का, एनर्जी इसकी ऐसी है। लोग कह रहे थे फीवर वालों ने इतने रैंडम बंदे को माइक पे खुला छोड़ दिया, अब देख लो वही बन गया एस्पायरिंग आरजे ऑफ द ईयर दोस्तों। और थैंक यू सो मच फीवर एफएम। और मैं कॉम्प्लीमेंट्स देना चाहूंगा फीवर एफएम को कि वो जौहरी है, जौहरी है, उन्होंने हीरे को पहचान लिया भाई साहब। फीवर एफएम के लिए जोरदार तालियां। फीवर एफएम मजे आ गए, मिल गया भाई, मिल गया। चलते रहो, घर लेके चलता हूं।
Well, truly always bringing his flavor to his talk. Now with our next award. Ladies and gentlemen, our next silver goes to at the Golden Mics, New Aspiring RJ of the Year.
Goes to Bharat Radio
1. Lots and lots of gratitude. Firstly, let's give it up for our wonderful host. Please, come on. She's been doing such a wonderful job. Let's hear it for them as well. They've been making the noise. Let's make some noise for them. Come on. It's going to take a bit, but I have a lot of people to thank. Gratitude is the attitude today. I would like to thank God, the Almighty, for blessing me with angels in my life, which include the likes of my parents, my brother, my loved one that I can't name over here. I would also want to thank the jury of Golden Mics for making the right choice. I would like to thank Team 94.3 Radio 1. We have the best content head and my reporting manager Jyotika Bijlani here. Can we hear her, please? Come on. I would like to thank our visionary CEO, Mr. Ramesh Menon, who's been forging the path for integrating digital, on-ground and radio together. It's a challenging time to be in radio, but I'm learning, I'm really enjoying. I've been in Bombay, I've been in Mumbai for 3 years because of this job, and I've been on air for more than 1 year. It's a really gratifying experience to be working with such a wonderful brand. I still have a lot to go, I still have a lot to do, a long way to go, and I'm fumbling, sorry, I'm doing that line again. I still have a lot to learn, a long way to go. We've just begun. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you. Have a good night.
Well, Mike from the Golden Mics out there, we leave him to disclose his loved one at a late night show, so we leave him from that. But on that note, ladies and gentlemen, the Gold Award goes to New Aspiring RJ of the Year.
And the gold goes to RJ Sahib, Big FM.
ऐसा दग दग हो रहा है मेरे को, डरता नहीं हूं वैसे मैं, कभी नहीं डरा मैं तो। आई स्टिल रिमेंबर हम लोग एक रेंट के घर में रहते थे, पापा उस वक्त कमा नहीं रहे थे, ऐसा रोना नहीं है, इंडियन आइडल की स्टोरी नहीं है, आई एम जस्ट शेयरिंग माय पर्सनल एक्सपीरियंस। तो पापा कमा नहीं रहे थे, मम्मी थोड़ा बहुत कमाती थी, बड़े भैया थोड़ा बहुत कमाते थे, तो हम ऐसे चौखट होती है छोटे शहरों में घर पर, मैं मम्मी से बैठकर हमेशा पूछता था, मम्मी मुझे कुछ भी नहीं आता, क्या करूंगा मैं, स्पोर्ट्स खेलना आता नहीं है, पढ़ाई में मैं अच्छा हूं नहीं, क्या करूंगा मैं। तो एक दिन ऐसे ही पापा ने बोला था कि बेटा रेडियो जॉकी बन जाना। तो ऐसे ही तो नहीं बन पाते रेडियो जॉकी बनने के लिए बहुत मेहनत करनी पड़ती है। पिछला एक अवार्ड हुआ था, सब लोग आए थे, आप लोग, वहां पे सिल्वर मिला था मुझे, आज गोल्ड मिला है, सोना और चांदी दोनों साथ है, क्योंकि असली जौहरी तो हमारे पास है, जौहरी, जिन्होंने हम सब जितने भी हीरो हैं उन सबको पहचान लिया। थैंक यू सो मच गाइस। पहले मैंने पापा की बात बताई थी, इस बार मम्मी की बात सबको सुननी थी, मैंने बता दी। थैंक यू सो मच, थैंक यू, थैंक्स टू गॉड, थैंक यू सो मच।
Congratulations, RJ Sahil. Well, ladies and gentlemen, with that, let's go ahead to our next award under Excellence category. We're talking about the Celebrity RJ of the Year.
The gold goes to Anu Kapoor, Big FM.
Well, as we celebrate the Celebrity RJ of the Year, Anu Kapoor, we do have somebody from the team collecting it, but we also have a video acceptance from Anu Kapoor. Let's put that on the screen.
Namaskar. I would like to thank E4M Golden Mics Awards 2025 for honoring me with the Celebrity RJ of this year award. It's a proud moment for me that both my shows, Suhana Safar with Anu Kapoor and Big Antakshari Season 2, have been recognized with awards. I just want to thank all my listeners, the dedicated team at Big FM and the Golden Mics jury for this incredible recognition. This journey would not have been possible without your love and support. Jai Hind.
Well, heartiest congratulations. We did have him last Golden Mics. This year we are missing him, but let's give him a big, big round of applause. And ladies and gentlemen, on that note, let's go ahead to our next award category. We're talking about the Influencer RJ of the Year.
The bronze goes to Swati Raya Bharatu, 98.3 Mirchi, Hyderabad.
Well, Swati couldn't make it, so we have somebody from the team collecting on Swati's behalf. Let's give them a big, big round of applause. So first, we're going to be getting a picture clicked, and of course, I'd like to cue in for a video bite from Swati accepting this award.
Hello everyone, name me Mirchi RJ Swati. So thank you so much e4m Awards for making this year unforgettable, and I'm in the US and couldn't attend. My heart is there. This RJ Influencer of the Year award is truly reflect of 1 year of hard work and consistency. Once again, thank you so much, and I would like to dedicate this award to all superwomen over there and super moms. And I just want to say one word: अपना time आएगा? No, अपना time आ गया. Thank you so much.
Well, thank you so much, Swati. Well, she's in New York right now, so couldn't make it out here, but congratulations to her. On that note, let's go ahead to the silver in Influencer RJ of the Year. Ladies and gentlemen, we're talking about...
And the gold goes to Rohini Ramanathan,
20 साल से इन्फ्लुएंस करने की कोशिश कर रही थी, अब जाके इन्फ्लुएंसर ये नाम जुड़ा है हमारे साथ. But I want to dedicate this to honestly every radio professional because we are the OG influencers. And more than that, I want to dedicate this to my team, the ones you may not see on the reels and on YouTube. They're all there, starting with Prachi. Please give them, unko aap please taaliyan dijiye. Prachi, stand up. There's Vaibhav, both of them have been with me. There is the wonderful Vardhaman and there's Divya. Thank you so much. Truly, we are nothing without our teams. So please, this one is for all of them who we don't see. Okay? Thank you so much. Thank you, sir.
Congratulations. Ladies and gentlemen, with that, this time let's give tribute to the shows being produced. Our next subcategory is the best show produced.
The bronze goes to Big FM for Bank of Baroda through Double K to Baker Season 3 with Pankaj Tripathi.
Can we have the team to join us on stage, Big FM, for collecting the award? Let's give them a big, big round of applause. Congratulations, and ladies and gentlemen, that leads us to the silver in the best show produced. At the 13th edition of Golden...
The silver goes to Big FM for Bank of Baroda with Antakshari Season 2 with Anu Kapoor.
And for our next award, ladies and gentlemen, request your attention on the screen as we talk about.
And the gold goes to Mirchi, Ghana for Mirchi Recharge Mantra.
Congratulations, and ladies and gentlemen, with this we move ahead to our next award category. We're talking about the best show host podcast.
The bronze goes to RJ Vani, Big FM.
All right, thank you so much, first of all, Golden Mics, for giving this wonderful evening and this award. I'm truly honored. आवाज मेरी थी, भावनाएं बहुत सारी थी. तो this award which I'm holding right now is for my team, Akanksha, Neha, Amit. Thank you so much. And all the cabin wala janta, jinhe laga I can pull it off. So thank you so much. And congratulations to all the winners. Please enjoy the evening. Thank you so much.
Congratulations. And with that, we now request your attention on the screen as we now move ahead to the next award.
The silver goes to Mirchi Recharge Mantra, Mirchi, Ghana.
And with that, we now move ahead to the gold in this category, Eyes on the Screen. Ladies and gentlemen, at the 13th edition of Gold.
And the gold goes to Abhishek Sharma, e4m Creative Solutions.
Well, Abhishek couldn't make it, but we have the entire team here.
So this is a pleasure. I've never accepted an award for anybody else, but this is for a man who makes us all win. We're very happy to see him win, and there's a video message from him as well.
मैं ना बहुत खुश हूँ और पता है कि इसके पीछे कहानी है. 2014 में पहली बार गोल्डन माइक्स में जीता था. उस वक्त भी मुझे 8 साल हो गए थे रेडियो करते हुए. 8 साल में मैंने कभी नहीं सोचा था कि मैं गोल्डन माइक्स जीत सकता हूँ. 2014 से लेकर हर साल मैं सोचता रहा कि यार अगर मैं ऐसे अवार्ड जीत सकता हूँ तो मैं एक्सेलेंस अवार्ड भी तो जीत सकता हूँ. आरजे ऑफ द ईयर होते थे तब. पॉडकास्ट का तो सीन ही नहीं था. तो हर साल मैं स्टेज पर चढ़ता था, कई सारे अवार्ड जीता था, मल्टीपल अवार्ड हर साल, लेकिन एक्सेलेंस अवार्ड की भूख हमेशा बनी रहती थी. आज 11 साल बाद 2025 में मैं ये एक्सेलेंस अवार्ड जीत रहा हूँ और मैं इतना खुश हूँ. ऐसा लग रहा है कि अनजाने में किया हुआ कोई मैनिफेस्टेशन मेरा सच हो गया हो. Thank you so much, Golden Mikes. Thank you so much, jury. Thank you so much, everybody who is now a sakshi to my success. I don't know if I should call it success, but yes, it's a very, very happy moment in my life. I am overwhelmed with joy. I wanted to be there, but unfortunately, I had to stay away. But I will cherish this award, and I will, see you next year.
Congratulations, Abhishek. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, we are moving ahead to our next award. Request your attention on the screen. Best Podcast of the Year.
The silver goes to Entertainment Network India Limited for Sunday Suspense Bangla.
Congratulations. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, we move ahead to our next silver, Eyes on the Screen.
And the silver goes to YouTube for Flamcast.
Heartiest congratulations. Ladies and gentlemen, let the applause continue. YouTube for Flamcast. Let's give them a big, big round of applause, please. Best Podcast of the Year, silver at the 13th edition of Golden Mics. And with that, a big thank you to Dr. Anurag Batra, Mr. Naval Ahuja, and Vaibhav for joining us. Thank you, Mr. Malu, for joining us. Ladies and gentlemen, one of the biggest honors of tonight is still pending, which is the radio station of the year. So you stay tuned as we're going to be bringing in that towards the end of tonight. On the other side, let's call upon our next set of presenters. Allow me an opportunity to call upon the Head Marketing Enrich, Ashwin Menon, along with founder Net Value Media Private Limited and Director Meteor Media Private Limited, Janardhan Pandey. Let's give them a big, big round of applause. Thank you, Ashwin, for joining us. I believe, yes, Mr. Pandey is also right there. Thank you, Mr. Pandey, for giving us your time as well. And as they're here, let's move ahead to the next main category. Ladies and gentlemen, we're talking about podcast/audio series, horror/thriller.
The bronze goes to Radio Mirchi Hyderabad for Cricketer Ghost Stories.
And to the next award, congratulations.
The bronze goes to Radio Mango for Moshan Katkad, Ettu Manur Vigraha Moshara.
Well, congratulations to the team, and we now move ahead to the silver.
And the silver goes to Entertainment Network India Limited for Sunday Suspense Bangla.
And now we celebrate our next subcategory. We're talking about the best podcast/audio series drama.
The bronze goes to Pocket FM Private Limited for Instant Millionaire.
Congratulations, and now for the silver.
And the silver goes to Pocket FM Private Limited for Ek Ladki Ko Dekha To.
Well, congratulations, Pocket FM Private Limited, for bagging the 2 awards. Ladies and gentlemen, just a subtle reminder, towards the end, we're going to be having all of you join together for a group photograph. So remember to stick around till the end, because we want to celebrate all the winners of the 13th edition of Golden Mics. On the other side, let's talk about our next subcategory. The best podcast/audio series news.
The bronze goes to Bandhan AMC for Let's Talk Macro.
And joining us for the silver win, it is.
And the silver goes to Aaj Tak for Nothing But the Truth.
And And it is all about entertainment as we talk about our next subcategory. The best podcast / audio series entertainment.
The bronze goes to Best Podcast Audio Series Entertainment. HD Media, Just Do Filmy for Just Do Filmy Podcast.
Congratulations, and now celebrating the golden moment.
And the gold goes to Music Broadcast Limited for Character Dissector with Api.
Congratulations. Ladies and gentlemen, the gold goes to Music Broadcast Limited. And with this, ladies and gentlemen, we move ahead to our next one. Best Podcast / Audio Series Sci-Fi.
The silver goes to Pocket FM Private Limited for Super Yodha.
And to celebrate the next iconic win with our next silver going to.
And the silver goes to Pocket FM Private Limited for the new avatar.
And now celebrating the musical category coming up next, we're talking about Best Podcast / Audio Series Music.
The bronze goes to Fever FM for Indie and Folk Project.
And an applause-worthy silver goes to. At Golden Mics,
and
we're
the
talking
silver
about
goes to Big FM for Folk Studio with Audrey Megha.
Now shifting our focus to our next subcategory, Best Podcast / Audio Series Comedy.
The bronze goes to Aaj Tak for Teen Park.
Congratulations, and with this, our next bronze goes to.
The bronze goes to Entertainment Network India Limited for Sarkari Chakri Season 2.
Now join me in celebrating the Silver Award.
And the silver goes to Music Broadcast Limited for Wrong Story, e4m Magadhira.
celebrating our next win with our next subcategory being Best Podcast / Audio Series Education.
The bronze goes to Entertainment Network India Limited, Ghana, for Love Kadle Ba.
Congratulations. Let's cheer on as we
The
talk
silver
about the
goes to
silver.
Big FM for Nabi Finance Minister Season 3.
Congratulations to the team of Big FM for bagging the silver. And now moving on to the golden moment. Let's find it out with our gold award going to.
And the gold goes to Music Broadcast Limited for Correct Currency, India's first financial podcast on radio.
With this, let's celebrate our next subcategory being the Best Podcast / Audio Series Health and Fitness.
The silver goes to Big FM for Beyond the Red Dot with RJ Megha.
And with this, we move ahead to our next subcategory, ladies and gentlemen, Best Podcast / Audio Series Technology.
The bronze goes to Three Techies Banter for Three Techies Banter.
And with this, we move ahead to the first silver winner.
The silver goes to Mindshare India for Voices of Progress. Banega to Banega India.
And celebrating our next silver winner, request your attention on the screen.
And the silver goes to Audio Blue Studios for In the Spotlight.
And with this, ladies and gentlemen, a big thank you to Ashwin and Janardhan for joining us. Thank you so much. Before we move ahead, we'd now like to call upon our next presenters on the stage. First up, the Senior General Manager, Marketing and Strategy, Muthoot Finance, Abhinav Iyer, along with, ladies and gentlemen, he needs no introduction, the very renowned actor. Let's give it up for none other than Amit Saab. Well, thank you so much, Amit and Abhinav, for joining us today, and allow us an opportunity to now go on to our next subcategory. We talk about the Best Podcast / Audio Series Crime.
The silver goes to Hotstar Proctor Branch.
And celebrating our next win with our silver going to.
And the silver goes to Entertainment Network India Limited for Mohan Samanta.
Joining us next on the red carpet with our next subcategory. We're talking about Best Podcast / Audio Series Storytelling.
The silver goes to Nirvana Entertainment Private Limited for Gopo Mere Thek Pathe Panchali, a tribute to Satyajit Ray.
Join me in celebrating as we now call upon our next silver winner. At the 13th edition of Golden Mic.
The silver goes to Entertainment Network India Limited for Azadi Ki Kahani Season
2. Ladies and gentlemen, it is now time to pull out your phones as we're talking about the golden moment. Ladies and gentlemen, at the 13th edition of Golden Mic.
2. Gold goes to Music Broadcast Limited for Bhakti Studio, Ashwatthama.
With this, we'll now move ahead to our next encouraging subcategory. We talk about the Best Podcast / Audio Series Real Estate.
The bronze goes to Open Runner Creative Solutions for Realty Rounds.
Congratulations, and now for the golden moment.
And the gold goes to Hub Hopper for adding Zindagi to years.
next showcase category, we're talking about our subcategory being the best podcast / audio series launch.
The bronze goes to Fever FM, Popcorn and Curious.
And now shining the spotlight on the silver winner, and that is...
And the silver goes to Entertainment Network India Limited, Ghana, for Mirchi Recharge Mantra.
Join me in celebrating as we talk about our next subcategory. Best Sponsored Podcast / Audio Series.
The bronze goes to HD Media, HD Smartcast for Crafting Bharat.
And bringing the idea of love, ladies and gentlemen, best podcast / audio series.
The silver goes to Radio City 91.1 FM for Choti Choti Love Stories.
And with this, we move ahead to our next subcategory. We're talking about best podcast / audio series, kids and parenting.
The bronze goes to Yuva Originals Private Limited for Be a Parent Yard Season 2.
And showcasing the limelight on the silver.
And the silver goes to Opiwala Creative Solutions for Sunny Side Up.
And with this, ladies and gentlemen, moving on to the third main category, audiobooks, we talk about the subcategory being the best audiobook fiction.
The silver goes to Radio Mirchi for Prem.com, Celebrity Love Stories.
Ladies and gentlemen, with this, before we move ahead to the Excellence Award, we have one final award. Of course, we'd love our presenters to stay back, but we'd also like to give a huge credit to our actor, renowned actor present here, Amit. Amit, we really look forward to the movie coming in, Pune Highway, and let's give him a big, big round of applause as we really look forward to it. Do we have that? Can we put that on the screen? The audio, the team, do we have any visual which we can display on the screen? Well, that's for the team to figure out in some time. But ladies and gentlemen, we just like to highlight on the movie Pune Highway, and of course, it has got some raging reviews. What cinema can and should be by ET now. Indian community talks about it being a gripping psychological thriller, and we have some reviews from various production houses and media productions like Filmfare, which says fine performance, and we really look forward, and let's give Amit a big round of applause on the same. Thank you so much for honoring us.
I'm a fair person. There's some bad reviews as well, but that's about life, and that reflects in the movies. Nice to be with you all.
So well, yes, we've displayed that on the stage. We're going to be requesting Dr. Anurag Batra.
You know why I'm excited? I met Amit only 4 days back for the first time and know about him in Delhi. But the movie, he told me who's made the movie. She's a very close friend of ours. Me and Nawal started Exchange for Media. She used to be CEO of BBC in India, Seema Mohapatra, and I just learned that she's not well. So I pray that she becomes okay. So I'm sure the movie will do well. Please give your love and affection to the movie, and do go and see it. Okay, I'll see it. I'll definitely see it. Take care.
Absolutely. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Anurag Batra, if you can stay with us on stage as we're now on the finale moment. The radio station of the year. This station of the year is decided based on the total number of points scored by the particular station, wherein every gold award won by the station gets 10 points. Every silver award gets 7 points, and every bronze award gets 5 points. The radio station which has scored the highest points by individual wins is awarded the Excellence Award. Ladies and gentlemen, hold your breath. At the 13th edition of Golden Mics, the radio station of the year goes to Radio Mirchi! Check. So ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to be requesting Prabjot to say a few words. Heartiest congratulations firstly.
Good evening everyone. I would like to thank e4m team and the entire Mirchi team, to have this. Because of you, we are here. Radio Mirchi, it's hot and it will always and always remain hot. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, and with that, everyone, we come to the conclusion of the 13th edition of Golden Mics, and it would not be concluded without all of you joining us on stage. Ladies and gentlemen, may I request all the winners to please join us on stage for the final group photograph, wherein we request you collectively to come as an industry. Whoever's in the room, please don't hesitate and join us on stage. Allow us an opportunity. We'll give you a minute to come on the stage. We have a few of you. We've got the entire team out here. Maybe please request you all to join us on stage.